Welcome to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show. I'm Mike Downhour with head football coach Jeff Fitzgerald, brought to you by 3B Equipment. Coach, another big win. You're 2-0 on the season, and let's just recap that big win against Sulphur last week.
It was a big win for us. They're a very good football team, and fortunately they hadn't played a game before we played them, and I think that played into our advantage, especially conditioning. And that was one of the reasons I felt like we were able to, pull it out down the stretch.
That fourth quarter,
they ran out of gas and had nothing left in the tank, and we still had plenty to play on. So I was very proud of our guys and the effort that we gave throughout the game. We were either behind or tied the entire game. We never could take the lead till they're late in the game. But I'm proud of our guys for just the way we handled adversity. And there was opportunities for us to hang our heads, especially when they got the ball on the half-yard line, drove it 99.5 yards and scored. But then we come back defensively and make two big stops. We had every opportunity to hang our heads, but we didn't. We never got too high, never got too low. We just continued to fight the fight.
One of the things I wanted to really point out is offensively, you guys did a great job throwing the ball, but you had two backs that were over 100 yards. That was Johnson and Dylan Roberts. But then Lewis, the sophomore, comes in, and he had 90. I can't remember the last time Ouachita's had that much yardage from multiple backs in a game.
Definitely, it was. I won't say it was a surprise, because it really wasn't. We knew that he was going to be a guy that was going to step up and be a good player for us. It just didn't know when. It was a lot like Dylan was a year ago, but we just didn't know when. But he's a good kid. He's a hard worker, and he doesn't look like much, but he can sure get after it.
One of the things you said going into the locker room, one quick question, on the radio broadcast, is it was about, we're going to fix this at halftime. We're not used to hearing you say that. So what do you guys go in the locker room and do at halftime when there's adjustments to be made?
Well, we obviously get to evaluate the film throughout the game and get to see it on Sky Coach, but sometimes you don't have a lot of time to make the adjustments on the sidelines you need, but you get a little bit more time at halftime to be able to really evaluate it, sit down with the kid and see and have a meaningful conversation with him, we shall say, so that he understands what his job is and what he's going to do, or he's going to stand on the sideline by us. But the effort was there Friday night, so it was just a matter of getting these guys to go in the right direction. We made a big emphasis on, we're going to make sure that we're more physical than they are. And there's no doubt our ends took it to heart that they were going to be more physical than number 15. They took it as a chip on their shoulder. They heard so much about him. And everybody was raving about how great a player he is, and he's a good player.
Yeah, he's a pretty good sized guy.
Those guys, those ends took it upon themselves to physically punish him, and that's what they were doing. They were just, a half a man. They were punishing him on the outside eye when they should be punishing him on the inside eye. So it was just a matter of getting them going in the right direction.
And talk about your defense too. Your defense really seemed to step up, play very inspired ball, and in the backfield, hitting hard. Just really seeming to step up when early on in the year you were talking about they're awfully young this year.
Well, Jaden Harris came up and made a big hit, and it seems like it takes that to kind of kickstart us, is that big hit or somebody make that big play. He came up and made that big hit. I don't know, they were running an outside zone to our sideline, and he slipped a block, and I'm shocked that the running back, my hat's off to him. He's a dang good player, but he got hit in the mouth.
He took a lick.
It was exciting, and so that kind of swung the momentum our way a little bit. The next thing you know, we come up with a turnover, and it was all Ouachita. From that turnover on, it was all Ouachita, and they I don't know if they hung it up, got wore out or what, but they definitely shut down a little bit, and we picked it up a notch.
Final score 34-21. Looked really good, but the game was much closer.
It was a lot closer, and obviously we had opportunities to put it away. We'd break a long run, get called for a illegal formation, and it just comes down to mental things, the little things, taking care of the little things, and so the big things take care of themselves. And then also we drive the length of the field to start the third quarter. We get down on the goal line and turn it over on downs. And so we had opportunities to put the dagger in them, and never did until right at the end. But I do think that that is a positive that we can look at.
Coach, Devil Tigers are coming to town. We'll talk about them in just a moment. You're tuned into the Jeff Fitzgerald Show. Welcome back to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show, brought to you by Slagle McGuffey, Remax Realty. Coach, the Neville Tigers are in town. You come in 2-0, they come in 0-2. Well, that's no contest, right? Of course not.
No comment.
Let's talk about it.
No comment. They're a great football team. I mean, when you look at it realistically, and this is the truth, is we're probably at best 1-1. I mean, at best. Warren Central may be the best team that I've seen. Right. They are the truth. They have got some animals that can play some football over there at Warren Central High School, and I don't feel like we could beat them. And anything could, the ball could go either way. And they're a dang good football team, and Neville's got a dang good football team, and so you can take 2-0 and 0-2 and throw it out the window. It means absolutely nothing. I mean, it's an in-town rivalry, and it's been a long-lasting rivalry. It's always a war. It's always a close game, and so it just, I mean, it is what it is, man. You can take the records and throw them out the window.
Well, history will kind of back that up. The Lions have not beaten the Tigers since 2010.
Appreciate that.
And that was also the last time the Lions went 3-0. So you can accomplish both tonight on the field if the Tigers are not successful tonight.
We do have a great opportunity ahead of us, and our kids have been working extremely hard. We've been preparing, every week we talk about taking it 1-0, and they've been preparing this week, not looking at last week, not looking at the week before, not looking down the road, but just taking it 1 week at a time. And so I've been very proud of our kids, the way that we've taken it 1 week at a time and focused in on what we got to do right now. I mean, you'd like to say it's just another game, but it's not. I mean, it's Neville Tigers rolling up into our house, and so that means something.
Right.
And there's been times where they beat us and they shouldn't have. And so it's our turn to turn that tide and to make sure that we take care of our business. You look at 2 years ago on our field, man, we snapped the ball over the punter's head. We just had a complete special teams breakdown at the start of the game. And I think that part of that was we didn't play a week 2 game that year. Mm-hmm. And so that was very tough on us. But you look at the years that they have won the game, it's not that they beat us, it's that we beat ourselves. And so that's one thing that we've really honed in on doing is making sure that we don't beat ourselves, that we give ourselves every opportunity to be successful, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may. If they're better, they're better. Ain't nothing you can say about that. They're just better. But they're not better this year. And so I'm looking forward to the kickoff and looking forward to seeing our guys compete. And all I can ask of them is they do their best, and so I feel like that's what we're going to do tonight.
Tell us what we see from the Tigers, offensively and defensively.
Offensively, they're going to look extremely similar to us. They're going to play with that in the gun, offset running back with an offset tight end H-back. Running a very, very similar offense. They run a little bit more power than we do. We're an inside zone counter team. They're a power counter team, but it's still some gap scheme. They'll run the power read. We run the power read. So it's very similar to what we do offensively. And then defensively, I don't know what they're going to do. We're not real sure. They've shown a 4-man front. They've shown a 3-man front. I think they're still searching for an identity there. They're still searching for an identity at quarterback. So they've got some things that they got to solidify coming into this game.
All right, real quick before we go, 2 freaks of the week last week. I wanted to make sure they got their credit.
Jaden Harris defensively, obviously he was one of the guys that just turned the tides for us defensively and swung the momentum our way. Had some huge plays where that he made the tackle. If he doesn't make the tackle, they score. But it really came alive in the second half. Dude ended up with double-digit tackles. Did a tremendous job for us. Forced fumble. He really was a game changer for us in the second half. And the other one was Chris Doyle, offensive lineman. He's our center. He's a guy that these offensive linemen don't get a lot of credit. But he's a guy that doesn't matter who he goes against, he's going to win the battle. And he went against a 6'5", 300-pound dude
that's right,
all night long. And he's not that big. I mean, at best, he's 5'10" and 245 pounds. At best, and he whipped that dude all night.
Well, Coach, best of luck in tonight's game, going 3-0 tonight.
Thank you.
All right, you've been tuned in to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We'll be back right after this.